Now on CoastTV News.
Search for siblings. Delaware State Police say 4 children from Georgetown are missing, where their investigation is after nearly a week of worry.
Park prices rising with Delaware State park permits going on sale today. How much more you'll have to pay and why?
The very cold weather continues for Delmarva. Not as windy today, then a brief warm-up Wednesday with a few showers. Forecast details coming up.
LA nightmare.
Batted up and picked off. Intercepted. And the Chargers win the ball game.
More of the same in another Eagles loss as the slide continues for the defending Super Bowl champs.
This is CoastTV News Today.
It is Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us during our 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of disgruntled Eagle fans waking up this morning, Grace.
Some sad news. I know one of them, our beloved Chris Mastrobono. He's out in LA right now.
That's a long way to go to see your football team lose.
He had said it would be a long flight back. If they lost. So our hearts go out to Chris and the rest of Philadelphia fans. Turning now to First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey. Good morning, Bob. I hope you're in better spirits than Chris is today.
So far this season, 21 in Seaford, 23 in Laurel, Bridgeville 22, 22 in Georgetown, even 20s to close to 30 degrees at the coast right now, as the winds are still blowing out there, kind of gusty at the coast. So you factor in those bitter cold temperatures with the wind, and it's feeling like 10 in Harrington, 14 in Seaford, 16 in Delmar, 18 in Millsboro, 21 in Bethany Beach. Bottom line, bundle up, layer up, and make sure you have a nice warm beverage and you warm up the car too. As we're looking at the satellite picture, you see that white complexion to the satellite. That's all that cold air reflecting back with Arctic high pressure. So we're slowly warming through the 20s into the 30s this morning. I think we'll see an increase in high clouds later this morning, and temperatures not as cold as yesterday and not as windy, with mid to upper 30s across much of the area as we go into the afternoon, and then getting cold into the evening hours. Temperature and wind chill at differential not as big because the winds are lighter, but still very cold nonetheless. 20s to mid 30s as we go through the day. A milder Wednesday on the way with a few showers. I'll have much more in your forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you, Bob. And our top story this hour, Delaware State Police are searching for 4 missing children. Troopers say those 4 are siblings from Georgetown.
According to Delaware State Police, they may be with their father, which would be against a court order, and therefore their safety is a concern. On your screen now is Mallory Broomall, the oldest. Police say she's 12, about 4'9", weighs around 90 pounds, and has blue eyes with blonde hair.
And here is Cody Broomall. He's roughly 3 feet 5 inches tall. According to state police, Cody weighs about 90 pounds. He also has blue eyes and blonde hair.
Now let's take a look at 6-year-old Evie Broomall. The information we have from Delaware State Police indicates she's about 3 feet tall, weighs 40 pounds, and has green eyes and blonde hair.
5-year-old Cash Broomall is about 3 feet tall, weighs around 30 pounds, and has blue eyes and blonde hair.
Police do not know what the children were wearing last. They can be seen allegedly in a black Ford F-150 with a Delaware license plate.
Yeah, they were last seen in Smyrna. That was on December 5th. And Delaware State Police are asking anyone with information to contact them.
If you missed any of that, we have an article up on our website. Right now, you can head to coasttv.com.
Turning now to a second reading on a controversial ordinance in Ocean View. It's taking place this afternoon. According to the agenda for the town council meeting, they will present the ordinance regulating public protest. Again, this is during a public hearing. This is an ordinance that requires a permit for all town demonstrations of more than 50 people, at least 48 hours notice, and a fee of $25 to apply for the permit. Controversy arose after the ACLU sent a letter to the town stating that some former restrictions violated the First Amendment. Ocean View Town Council is meeting today at 3 p.m.
And a heads up for people looking to visit Delaware State Parks. Today, permits go on sale. But for the first time in 10 years, daily entrance and annual fees have changed.
Coast TV's Elisa Weber is live at Cape Henlopen State Park. She has the breakdown of the price changes, and there is an opportunity for the public to share their opinions. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Right now, I am at Cape Henlopen State Park. This is one of 17 state parks people can visit in Delaware. And for the first time in 10 years, Denmark made the decision to raise all annual park permit fees. And Delaware state parks are actually 65% self-funded. So Denmark says that these price increases were needed to make sure parks stay maintained and they can operate under their current facilities, as well as make sure they are suitable for all the thousands of visitors who come here. And according to Denmark, some of these new changes include inland daily fees for in-state is $4 to $5. Beach parks went from $5 to $10. Out-of-state daily fees for inland parks went from $8 to $10. Beach parks from $10 to $20. Annual pass fees for in-state is $35 to now $50. And for out-of-state visitors, that went from $70 to $100. Denmark says operating costs have increased by 127% over the past decade. And if you are interested in buying a permit for the 2026 season, you can check out all of that information on the Delaware State Park website. Back to you.
Thank you, Lisa. The impact of property tax reassessment on Delaware school districts will be front and center at Legislative Hall. State leaders are expected to hold another hearing today. According to the state, today's hearing is expected to focus on how school funding is impacted. This comes after the hearings were put on hold because of a lawsuit related to a bill that allowed Newcastle school districts to reset its tax rates. Education and state leaders will gather today at 9:30 a.m.
What's happening today? Sussex County Council could get answers on questions about plans to build a Costco, Target, and more on Route 24 and Mulberry Knoll Road. It's called Atlantic Fields. It's 73 acres in total. Public hearings were held earlier this fall. Again, no decision has been made by County Council, and none will be made today. This is just for staff to provide an update on responses to council member questions on the project.
That's also the case for Cool Spring Crossing. Plans to build homes, assisted living, and more on 637 acres off Route 9 and Cool Spring Road. There are 4 ordinances related to the Cool Spring project, and today, county staff are expected to provide an update on responses to council member questions on this project. And again, no vote scheduled on Cool Spring either today.
Ocean City is looking to move forward with its Route 50 Bridge lighting project. Tourism and business development requests continue. Its concepts of lighting 36 poles. Procurement records recommends sole source lighting products to match both the boardwalk arch and exterior of the convention center. Estimated costs are $90,000 for lighting material and $35,000 for installation. Money for the project will come from special events per ticket fees used for the purpose of tourism and economic development.
Thanks to No, Ocean City Council says some electric chargers in their town are broken, and the company that's supposed to fix them isn't responding. Happening today, the council is expected to discuss a contract with a new company, one that would replace all 16 existing chargers at all 4 charging locations. Ocean City Council says the company will even foot the bill for installation, equipment, and maintenance. But until more chargers are in town, Tom Ford says he'll stick to gas.
I don't think I'll ever be in the market for an electric vehicle, just for that reason, charging.
According to the council, if everything goes to plan, new and improved charging stations could be up and running by May of 2026. And happening today, 3 public hearings in Seaford where major loan proposals are under review, all tied to water and sewer upgrades. According to the agenda for the mayor and council meeting, leaders are expected to review a $2.07 million loan to relocate sewer mains in the Martin Farms area. A second proposal is a $1.25 million loan to relocate water mains in the same area, and a third loan proposal for $2.7 million to build 2 new production wells as a treatment station on Nylon Boulevard.
This just in, President Trump will travel to Pennsylvania today for an address on the economy, as a series of recent polls show a majority of Americans frustrated over those high prices.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us how the trip comes after the White House announced a $12 billion aid package for farmers and ahead of the vote in Congress on the future of health care subsidies under the Affordable Care Act.
Important number, sacred number.
President Trump prepping for a big speech on the economy today in battleground Pennsylvania, as voters signal they're not happy with the issues central to his election in a series of polls. Most recently, Gallup, showing just 36% of those surveyed satisfied with the president's handling of the economy. He argues he inherited a mess.
The Democrats caused the affordability problem, and we're the ones that are fixing it. So it's a very simple statement. They caused it, we're fixing it.
On Monday, announcing a $12 billion aid package for farmers paid for through tariff revenues and targeting prices.
It'll help them continue their efforts to lower food prices for American families.
It's the latest in a series of executive actions aimed at addressing economic concerns, even as President Trump has publicly downplayed the affordability crisis.
Use the word affordability. It's a Democrat hoax. They're the ones that drove the prices up.
Democrats seizing on that language.
They don't plan to address the high cost of living in this country because they don't even believe that it exists.
While on Capitol Hill, a Senate vote this week on whether to extend expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies, bringing the specter of soaring health insurance premiums for millions back to the forefront. Republicans pressing for reforms.
Just throwing more money at insurance companies means costs just keep going up. That doesn't solve the problem.
Democrats argue Americans in need can't wait, pushing to keep the issue top of mind with critical midterm elections now less than a year away. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Happening today in Worcester County, the Ocean Pines Water and Wastewater Advisory Board is expected to review the findings of a new resiliency evaluation. According to the agenda, the report outlines several upgrades aimed at improving reliability and water quality heading into the next budget cycle. These include removing an aging pressure regulating valve, replacing the electrical cabinet, and abandoning the old water tank. Officials say work could cost about $300,000.
Last night, the Eagles in the LA suburbs, Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts threw four interceptions, including this one in overtime. The Birds lose to the Chargers 22-19. They're now on a 3-game skid, and it is likely panic button time on Philly Sports Talk Radio this morning. We have more on the Eagles' loss later on CoastTV News Today.
We're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News Today.
Coming up, Maryland Farming Future, what farmers, state officials, and students are learning at a statewide conference this week.
Also, first steps for approval. We'll tell you what Georgetown leaders decided regarding creating more affordable housing in the town.
Still ahead, one outfit at a time. A Sussex County nonprofit is meeting a growing need and how their work is reshaping confidence for students who need it most. And there was First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey in the Weather Center getting the latest data on a very cold morning, and we check in with him next.
It is 5:15 on this bitterly cold Tuesday morning. Dry Tech Cam in Ocean City, 31 there, and temperatures slowly rising through the morning hours. And look at these temperatures. This is the coldest morning we've seen so far this almost winter season. 21 Seaford, 21 Milford, Dagsboro, 26-30 in Bethany Beach. And with those winds that are gusting close to 20 miles per hour, we've got feels like temperatures that are down to 14 in Seaford, 13 in Harrington, 19 in Rehoboth. So bundle up this morning, bundle up the kids, maybe drive them to the bus stop. 22 off to school, very cold, and then we're looking at 37 heading home, still very cold. A bit milder heading into Wednesday with a few showers. More on that coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. The Delaware State Housing Authority is now taking applications for large project reservations through the Downtown Development District's rebate program. About $3.5 million are available, and to qualify, projects must invest more than $350,000 in eligible improvements to commercial, industrial, residential, or mixed-use buildings. There are 12 designated districts, including Dover, Georgetown, and Milford. Applications are due by 3 p.m. on February 26 in Delaware.
Freeman Arts Pavilion in Selbyville is giving us a first look at its big makeover plans. That includes a new permanent stage, upgraded sound and lighting, and a redesigned terrace lawn with more seating options. Completion of the new permanent stage and other facilities are expected by July of 2026.
Clothing Our Kids is a nonprofit organization here in Sussex County. It helps at-risk kids from Head Start all the way through high school by providing them with new clothes. As reporter Ana Sofia Roman shows us, since 2012, volunteers have been filling boxes, thousands at a time.
Volunteers sort through racks of new clothes, fill orders, and deliver them to students in need as they fill requests submitted by school nurses and counselors. The goal is to help students feel confident and ready to learn.
Mary and John Rio started this charity 13 years ago, and Mary started it in a spare bedroom and quickly grew to her garage. And it started when John, her husband, who was a vice principal of a Sussex County school, came home and said he knew of a little girl who was wearing the same clothes all 5 days, and she was getting bullied.
According to Clothing Our Kids, during the 2025-2026 school year, they have provided more than 11,000 items to over 1,400 students in Sussex County, giving them essentials and confidence.
We want the children to stay in school. We want them to feel good about walking in the door.
Karen Borges, Volunteer Center Director, has been part of the organization since the very beginning.
It is the most rewarding job to know that you are taking care of a child with a week's worth of clothes. And to fill that box, we fill it with love.
Bob Bluin, president of the organization, says the work they do is huge.
We wish we didn't have to do this. We wish we lived in a perfect world where children could go to school and feel not threatened because they don't have the right clothes, or they don't have new clothes, or they don't have clean clothes.
Supporting local students one outfit at a time. For the Ties That Bind Us, I'm Ana Sofia Roman.
Time is 5:21, and we're giving you a live look at the early morning scene near the Isle of Wight in Ocean City. And Bob, when you showed that map a few minutes ago, there were some very serious cold temperatures that we're talking about.
Very cold, Matt. This is the coldest morning so far, and we're not even into winter. These are winter-like temperatures still. Now, meteorological winter has started on December 1st, but boy, is it cold. And today will be cold, still cold, not as windy. Highs in the 30s, some 40s for the beaches. And then Wednesday, this is our mildest day of the week. Temperatures in the 40s to near 50 with some scattered showers with the front. But right now, really bitter cold, and it looks like we lost a chunk of temperatures. We're looking at 21 in Seaford, 22 in Georgetown, Milton 25 with 31 in Ocean City and 22 in Willards. And we still have winds coming in out of the north. They are stronger at the beaches, gusting over 20 miles per hour there. So you factor in temperature and wind, and this is what it feels like on your exposed skin. You really want to bundle up, layer up this morning. Feels like 14 in Milford, 13 in Harrington, 14 in Laurel, 18 in Millsboro, and feeling like teens and 20s at the beaches as well. Here's our satellite picture. You can see all the white. That's indicating very cold air that is reflecting back to space as clouds are moving offshore. We have Arctic high pressure in place right now. This high will basically slide to the east as we go through the next 24 hours as we get into a southwesterly flow, as we're watching a system moving through the Midwest, and then that will bring some clouds and that chance of a few showers as we go into tomorrow. Here's Futurecast this morning. We're very cold and slowly climbing through the 20s, and then I think we're above freezing by noon. We're looking at some mid to high level clouds as we go through the afternoon, and still very cold, mid to upper 30s. Even at the beaches, we're in the mid 30s, and then this evening we're quickly below freezing. The winds will start to turn in out of the southwest, so we'll be feeling those feels like temperatures once again. And by Wednesday morning, not as cold with 30s, and then it's gusty southwest winds into Wednesday, and that will boost our temperatures into the mid to upper 40s with some rain showers possible into the afternoon and evening hours. But those feels like temperatures brutal this morning in the teens and 20s. And then the winds are lighter this afternoon, so not as bad. But then as those winds pick up out of the southwest, we'll have those feels like temperatures in the 30s as we go into Wednesday. And then behind that front, that cold northwest wind and lower wind chills as we go into Thursday. As far as the longer range, I think that system that we were thinking for Friday, a clipper system, maybe a little bit of rain and snow, not a big deal. A bigger system will be taking shape on Sunday. As of now, it looks like a cold rain for Delmarva and some snow off to the north and west. And then that system moves out, and guess what? More cold air behind it, much below normal temperatures as we go through December 15th through the 19th. Paul, they have a 7-day forecast. Wednesday's the warmest day of the week, 48 with some showers, cooling down for the end of the week. And the weekend looking 50-50 but cold, 44 Saturday, and then that rain chance Sunday and a high of 40.
Thank you, Bob. And new this morning, the first step to creating cottage homes in Georgetown. The town council approved a land use change that would pave the way for these types of structures. The goal of Little Living LLC, that's a Delaware-based nonprofit, is to provide 22 affordable housing units to people in the area. This project has faced some pushback, with opponents feeling the cottages would create blight. Little Living has disputed that.
That's step one in the process, as we also was discussed here tonight. One of the other challenges, there's 2 lots that ideally we would get the zoning for those lots changed from commercial to urban residential.
And according to the town council, the land use change still needs approval from Sussex County Planning and Zoning before cottage homes are allowed.
Up next on Coast TV News Today, we'll tell you about work increasing in land preservation. Don't go anywhere. Leaders in Maryland agriculture are meeting to help shape the future of the industry. More than 500 farmers, agribusiness leaders, students, and policymakers are at the Maryland Farm Bureau's 110th convention in Cambridge. The theme for the gathering is Rooted, celebrating the deep connection shared with the land, communities, and each other while looking ahead at the future of Maryland's agriculture. Maryland's Agriculture Secretary says one of the most important things for farmers to do is preserve their land.
If you're dedicated to the land, and we know that farmers are stewards, farmers are caretakers of that land. Sometimes that land's been in the family for 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, some 200 years, some beyond, but they're not the original caretakers of that land. If they are committed to that land, continuing to be in agriculture and open space, whatever it may be, preserve it.
The Farm Bureau also says it plans to work with state leaders and additional legislation related to solar.
Bundle up at the beaches today. Look at this, upper 20s starting out in Assateague and Chincoteague, and then mid to upper 30s as we go through the day with a mix of sun and clouds. Farther up the coast, Fenwick Island, Ocean City, you'll be in the mid 30s as we go through the day. Waves around 2 to 3 feet. On the Bayside, Cambridge starting out in the low 20s and then mid 30s for highs, and similar conditions in Crisfield. I'll have much more on your forecast coming up a little bit later on.
And after the break on Coast TV News Today, focus on school funding. We'll tell you details of the latest property reassessment hearing to take place in Delaware.
Also, park permits on sale and why price changes are occurring for those passes in Delaware.
Plus, protests problems. We'll tell you details of a new ordinance in Ocean View that's raising controversy. Coast TV News Today, we'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Park prices rising with Delaware State Park permits going on sale today. How much more you'll have to pay and why.
Plus, permit protest fight. The public hearing in Ocean View on an ordinance that has drawn controversy over its impact on the First Amendment.
Brightening the bridge, what Ocean City's council is considering for updates to the key connector to the town.
The very cold weather continues for Delmarva. Not as windy today, then a brief warm-up Wednesday with a few showers. Forecast details coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
December 9th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us today.
5:33 a.m. And if you're just joining us, Bob is saying today's the coldest day of the season.
I know. I don't know if you need our weather app to feel that just walking outside this morning.
We've had some cold days already.
That's for sure. But today I think was pretty nippy out today.
He's got some interesting temperatures to tell us about, so let's get right to him. First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey joining us now as you prepare to make your way out the door. Good morning, Bob.
Yes, good morning, guys. So far, an amazingly cold December for Delmarva, and today, the coldest morning of this pre-winter season already. 21 in Seaford and Redden, 22 in Georgetown, 29 in Lewis and Indian River Inlet. We still have winds coming out of the north, at times gusting over 20 miles per hour. Feels like temperatures are rough. Feels like 14 in Bridgeville through Seaford. Feels like 18 in Millsboro, 21 IR Inlet. Bottom line, layer up, bundle up. Make sure you warm up the car, bundle up the kids too. Here's a satellite picture. We have clear skies and all the white indicating all the cold air across the east with Arctic high pressure. Here's Futurecast at 6:30. It's clear, temperatures in the 20s, clouds increasing through the morning. We're finally above freezing late morning and then into the afternoon, a mix of sun and clouds. And I think we're looking at temperatures only in the mid to upper 30s. Your day part forecast. Thankfully, the winds are much lighter and we're looking at those temperatures mid 30s. I think some places could touch 40 a little bit later on. Much more in your forecast coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
Thank you, Bob. And our top story this half hour, a second reading for a controversial ordinance in Ocean View takes place this afternoon. According to the agenda for the town council meeting, they'll present the ordinance regulating public protests during a public hearing. This is an ordinance that requires a permit for all town demonstrations of more than 50 people, at least 48 hours notice, and a fee of $25 to apply for the permit. Controversy rose after the ACLU sent a letter to the town stating that the former restrictions violated some First Amendment rights. Ocean View town leaders will gather today at 3 p.m.
And we have a heads up for people looking to visit Delaware State Parks in 2026. Today, permits go on sale, but for the first time in 10 years, daily entrance and annual pass fees have changed.
We now go live to Cape Henlopen State Park and CoastTV News' Elisa Weber. She's got the breakdown of the price changes, and there's an opportunity for the public to share their opinions.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Right now, I am at Cape Henlopen State Park, and this is one of 17 state parks that people can visit in Delaware. And according to DENREC, these state parks are actually 65% self-funded, so an increase was necessary. It has been 10 years since park fees have increased, but DENREC says a price change will allow them to maintain current operations and help keep facilities up to date. And according to DENREC, these changes include in-state daily fees are now $5 for inland parks. Beach parks now $10. Out-of-state daily fees for inland parks are now $10. Beach parks $20. Annual pass fees for in-state is now $50. For out-of-state, that is $100. DENREC says operating costs have increased by 127% over the past decade. And park passes can be purchased on the Delaware State Parks website, and there's also more information about the new fee changes. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa Weber in Cape Henlopen. Now, the impact of property tax reassessment on Delaware school districts will be front and center at Legislative Hall. State leaders are expected to hold another hearing today. According to the state, today's hearing is expected to focus on how school funding is impacted. This comes after the hearings were put on hold because of a lawsuit related to a bill that allowed Newcastle school districts to reset its tax rates. Education and state leaders will gather today at 9:30 a.m.
Also today, Sussex County Council could get answers on questions about plans to build a Costco, Target, and more on Route 24 and Mulberry Knoll Road. It's called Atlantic Fields, and this is 73 acres in total. Public hearings were held earlier this fall. Again, no decision has been made by County Council, and none will be made today. This is just for staff to provide an update to responses to council member questions on the project.
That's also the case for Cool Spring Crossings. Plans to build homes, assisted living, and more on 637 acres off Route 9 Cool Spring Road. There are 4 ordinances related to the Cool Spring project, and today, county staff were expected to provide an update on responses to council members' questions on this project. And again, no vote scheduled on Cool Spring either today.
Plus, the council will hold a public hearing for a proposed ordinance authorizing a general obligation bond for the Love Creek Mobile Home Community Project. And this is the area that we're talking about, that we're showing you right now on your screen. It's just off of Route 24, west of Coastal Highway. County documents state the bond is over $7.2 million. Sussex County Council, again, is meeting in just a few hours from now at 10 a.m.
Ocean City looking to move forward with its Route 50 bridge lighting project. Tourism and Business Development is requesting to continue its concept of lighting 36 poles. Procurement recommends that sole-sourced lighting products to match both the boardwalk arch and exterior convention center. Estimated costs are around $90,000 for lighting material and $35,000 for the installation. Money for the project will come from special events per ticket fees used for the purpose of tourism and economic development.
And this just in, the Federal Open Market Committee is meeting today and tomorrow. That's the Federal Reserve panel that decides interest rates.
Its members are looking at economic data. They might also have an eye on the Supreme Court. Amy Kiley reports on why and how it may affect you.
The Federal Reserve might seem far away, but it impacts people at home, including the cost of literal homes. Today, the Fed is starting a two-day meeting in which it's expected to cut the federal funds rate. That would put downward pressure on interest rates for mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, and other debt. The central bank also tries to balance maximum employment with control of inflation. In other words, it affects people's jobs and the prices they pay. But many experts predict just a quarter-point cut tomorrow.
We shouldn't look to the Federal Reserve to solve all of our ills or believe that a small shift in interest rates can make a big difference.
The Supreme Court is considering a case that could affect the Fed. It challenges President Donald Trump's firing of a former FTC commissioner. The case could affect his power over other independent agencies like the Fed. A hearing yesterday suggests most justices might side with Trump.
Independent agencies are not accountable to the people.
There is no such thing in our constitutional order as a fourth branch of government that's quasi-judicial and quasi-legislative.
Trump wants to fire Fed board member Lisa Cook and fill the panel with loyalists. He wants to force a large rate cut regardless of economic data. Investors worry that would cause inflation to surge.
Former Fed officials and economists, they warn that artificially low interest rates can backfire.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up next, BB brings in more vehicles. We'll tell you how health officials say these 3 new vehicles will serve the community.
Also, Eagles fight into overtime, why a fourth quarter comeback by the Birds did not result in a West Coast win.
It is 5:43 on this very cold Tuesday morning. Salisbury down to 22 right now. At least the roads are dry. We're looking at teens and 20s inland areas and upper 20s at the beaches. And we're still looking at some wind out there, gusty winds, especially at the beaches. So wind chills, very cold into the teens and lower 20s. Feels like 14 in Seaford, 16 in Gumboro, 19 in Rehoboth. Here's our morning checklist. Ice scraper a must. Make sure you layer your clothing. Don't need the snow shovel, thankfully, but definitely need the winter coat, sunglasses, and warm beverage as well. And congratulations to Danny Jenkins from Milton on winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV.
New this morning, BB received more than $3.3 million in congressionally directed spending to expand its mobile health fleet. As you can see here on your screen, U.S. Senators Chris Coons and Lisa Blunt Rochester, along with U.S. Representative Sarah McBride, joined the ribbon cutting. The fleet additions include a 28-foot Winnebago outfitted with an exam room and wound care area, and a 24-foot extended Sprinter van designed for tight or hard-to-reach areas, plus a 21-foot Sprinter that supports staff and supplies.
Also, Maryland's Governor's Office of Crime Prevention and Policy has awarded the Cambridge Police Department nearly $100,000. The city says the funding comes through the Edward J. Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program. Cambridge police say the funding will support their safety through technology, education, and partnerships program that's known as STEP.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
One of the wildest games I've ever seen, and I don't even have time to show you half of the craziness. The Chargers opened up the scoring with a pass from Justin Herbert to Amarion Hampton, who just got back from the IR. 7-zip LA. Let's get into the craziness. Eagles driving. Jalen Hurts' pass is intercepted by Deshaun Hand. Hand doesn't have the ball for long, though. Fumbles it. Hurts picks it back up, loses it again after 3 turnovers. Chargers ball. They turn that into a field goal. Fourth quarter, Eagles down 13-9 until Saquon Barkley breaks free. 52 yards to the house. What is happening? Philly's up 16-13, and we're moving quick. A few field goals each way. We go to overtime. Chargers take the lead. Eagles looking to tie or win, but Jalen Hurts throws his 4th pick of the day. Tony Jefferson ends up with the football. 8 total turnovers, 8 total sacks. A wild game ends 22-19 in favor of the Chargers. For Eagles fans, here's your takeaway. Philadelphia is on a 3-game losing streak for the first time in 2 years. Still, you've got a 1.5 game lead on Dallas in the NFC East, so that's safe for the time being, and that'll do it for me. Have a nice one.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 8:30, Y-High takes on Bennett in boys basketball. Then you can catch the final score at 10:30. And along with that Y-High Bennett game, here's what you can watch exclusively on DSN Plus. We got some girls basketball starting at 3:30 when Odessa faces Mount Pleasant. 4 p.m., Colonel Richardson battles Queen Anne's. Then I got a pair of boys games at 5:30. Parkside hosts Mardella, and at 5:45, Del Mar is home with Lake Forest.
And if you're having a rough week, feel free to cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and so much more. You can sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign up to get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Fridays.
And now, time to showcase how you are decorating your homes this holiday season. Today's holiday house pictures coming to us from Bev and Tam in Felton, and on your screen, wow, look at this.
Oh my goodness.
Got this very decked out front porch area, lights leading down a walkway into a winter wonderland. That is a great looking outside display.
You know what, Matt? Santa's gonna have no problem seeing that from the sky. And if you'd like to send us your festive decorations like Bev and Tam did, you can share them to our broadcast. If you take a look at your screen now, send in your photos by heading to our website, coasttv.com/holidayhouse. The time is now 5:50 a.m. as we're taking a live look out into Salisbury. And Bob, a chilly morning at that, but you're saying the chilliest we've seen so far.
Yeah, I would go beyond chilly, Grace. I would say very cold, and that's what we have right now. In fact, it's so cold, some of the temperatures on my map have disappeared. Probably grabbing a blanket and warming up. It's really cold. 19 right now in Redden, 22 in Georgetown, Seaford 21, Salisbury and Willards at 22, and well, below freezing at the beaches, as well as we still have this northerly breeze that's stronger at the coast right now, gusting to 25 at Indian River Inlet. So the wind chills are brutal out there. 14 Salisbury and Willards, and the same for Laurel. Feels like 18 in Millsboro and 21 in Georgetown. So the bottom line is just bundle up out there this morning as we're looking at clear skies as Arctic high pressure is overhead right now. So at least we're not dealing with any kind of snow, and I don't think we're looking at that in the near future. We are watching this system across the northern high plains, a clipper-like system with some snow across the Great Lakes. That'll scoot to our north tomorrow, but drag a cold front through and bring a few showers and milder air out ahead of it. Here's Futurecast this morning. It's clear, it's cold, temperatures slowly rising through the 20s into the 30s. I think we're finally above freezing by noon, and we'll see some cloud cover too. So it's just still going to be cold out there, but at least the winds are lighter. And by 2:30, we're looking at mid to upper 30s for highs. Somebody could hit 40 as we go into the afternoon, and then a cold evening on the way as the winds turn around to the south and west. Not as cold tonight, but with the wind, it's still pretty cold. We're looking at mid-30s tomorrow morning, and then by mid-morning, the southwest winds kick in even more. We're in the 40s, and then in the afternoon, downright balmy. Look at this, mid-40s, maybe close to 50 in some places. And I think we're looking at some showers with this front, rain showers, as we go into Wednesday afternoon and evening. But those feels like temperatures this morning once again are rough into the teens, but lighter winds into the afternoon should make it a little more tolerable. Then those winds turn around around to the southwest as we go into your Wednesday, and feeling like 30s as we go into Wednesday. And then Thursday morning, those winds shift to the northwest and it's back down into the 20s. As far as the next system, I think it's a Clipper-like system that moves in Friday, and it's looking weak. Maybe a little bit of snow, a little bit of a wintry mix, and then a break Saturday. But a bigger system on Sunday right now promises a cold rain. As of now, we'll have to see if this system changes track, and then just really cold behind that. Much below normal temperatures to below normal as we go 15th through the 19th of December. But I think as we head up towards Christmas, I think things will tend to warm up a little bit. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 39 today, up to 48 Wednesday with a few rain showers. Back to the low 40s Thursday and Friday. And then the weekend looking 50-50, dry and chilly. On Saturday, 44, and then that cold rain on Sunday, 40 degrees, and then, boy, the bottom drops out again by Monday, mostly sunny and a high of only 34.
We are a couple weeks into our Bless Our Children campaign, and as you can see, we continue to get donations to help ensure that every child on Delmarva has that special present to open during Christmas time. And here's the latest card that's going up on our tree. You can see a couple of snowmen here. And this one was sent to us by Brenda in Georgetown. And she writes, "Merry Christmas to all the children and those who contribute to this meaningful cause." Thank you so much, Brenda, for those words and this donation that we're going to put right here on the tree. And businesses can help by accepting the Shell Brothers Challenge of donating at least $1,000. If you want to help, send a donation in a holiday card, and we may just read it on the air. Send a check or money order to the address on your screen or donate online at blessourchildren.org.
We have already helped to raise over $250,000 to help children and families this holiday season. And again, we'd like to thank all who have donated. The time is now 5:54 a.m. and it's time to check in with our coastal pets of the day.
Got two of them here, Grace, and they're wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. And
my
these
goodness.
two will be celebrating Christmas in Rehoboth Beach with their family.
Oh my goodness, those are adorable. I'm loving the decorations, and we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. You can send us photos, tell us what makes them so special. If you take a look at your screen now.
Yeah, scan that QR code top center. That way you can get your friends to Coast TV News, and then you can watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
Needless to say, just bundle up and maybe just stay under the blankets all day if you can. We're looking at temperatures in the 20s this morning, only warming into the mid-30s, but feeling like teens this morning. Thankfully, the wind's not as strong. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. We bounced up to 48 Wednesday with a few showers, colder by the end of the week. A dry Saturday, then right now looks like a cold rain on Sunday, 40 degrees, and then really cold to start early next week, but then warming up towards the end of the week and maybe a little warmer as we head towards Christmas.
Okay, thank you, Bob. And coming up on our next hour, urgent search underway where Delaware State Police are focusing their investigation of 4 missing children from Georgetown. That and more when we continue with Coast TV News Today.